Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you happen to be watching this week's episode. First and foremost, I want to say happy belated Father's Day, because Father's Day was this past week, right? Was this past Sunday. You're getting this on Wednesday. So I want to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers that actually are subscribed, are watching our weekly videos. I pray y'all had an awesome Father's Day and everything was as you expected it, right? That you had. Do fathers want the same thing that mothers want? We like, don't bother us, don't call our names, this, that, and other. Whatever. Like, whatever it is that you wanted, whatever it is that you was hoping that the kiddies got you. Because let me tell you, Father's Day is not for the wife. It's not for the wife to gift you, okay? Father's Day is for the kids to love on their fathers, okay? So, I pray that y'all had an awesome Father's Day. This week, we are on part 2 of our series talking about a personal financial statement. And I told y'all last week, like, we're in the middle of the year. This is a great time to get your stuff in order, get your house in order. My kiddos are home. One of these kiddos going to help me clean this office and get me some feng shui up in here because I need it. I keep telling y'all that I'm going to clean stuff up. But they're going to help me make sure that I get my space decluttered. And I'm going to compensate them accordingly. Why? Because, of course, they're my employees, right? They on payroll. So I'm gonna work with them to make sure that we get the things done that need to get done and space decluttered, and swept, dusted. Y'all, cause I don't be messing with the dust. I don't. I break out in hives. That's another story for another day. But we're gonna jump in to a personal financial statement. All right. So you'll see on the screen, personal financial statement. What I'm showing you all is from the SBA. And yes, the expiration date say May 31st, so it just expired, right? But I absolutely like this. Why? Number one, I work for a lot of small, my focus point is small business owners. But when people are trying to get their, when they're trying to get a certification, woman-owned, small business, 8A, whatever, one of the things you're going to have to do on an annual basis is this. If you want to qualify for bank 7A loans, small business loans, be them for working capital or for equipment or buildings or whatever it is, right? Being familiar with the SBA Personal Financial Statement is a good, solid place to start. Now, can you go on Word? Can you go on Excel? Can you just do a search, a random search, just for an example of a personal financial statement? Sure thing. But if you know that you are going to be out here trying to get access to money from government funds, be them at the state, local, federal level, you being familiar with what your personal financial statement is going to look like is going to be very helpful, and it's going to kind of truncate that process. All right. So we're going to go through this. I got clients that are, government contractors, etc. Y'all see, these are talking about 7A loans, right? They want to know, check all that apply. Do you have a 7A loan? That's one of the SBA loans. Do you have a disaster business loan? That's that EDIL stuff that happened. Do you have that? Do you have are you on a woman-owned small business federal contracting program? Are you part of that 8A program? They want to know these things, right? Because number one, they got to keep their statistics to see who they loaned money to. But this also helps you to be like, you know what? Maybe I need to figure out how to get into one of these programs that do exist so that my business can be leveraged by small business loans, if that is the opportunity. Remember that companies like Apple, back in the day, Steve Jobs, that's who comes to mind off the top of my head. I think Bill Gates might have, but I definitely know Steve Jobs and some of these other companies that are mammoth now, right? At one point in time, took advantage of being a small business and got some funding through SBA. That's what it's for. And I want you to be able to know some of the things they're going to ask you for. All right, so let's go through the financial statement. Keep it at a high level. Of course, they need to know your information, okay? Your information, name, address, phone number. They'll eventually ask you social security number. Now, if you don't have a business, that's okay. You don't have to use this as an example, right? We'll find you another form. But if you do have a business, and a lot of my clients that I work with are small business owners, I want you to be aware of what's happening here. They'll ask you for your business type. They'll ask you what's going on. But the meat and potatoes that you'll see on any financial statement, any financial statement is going to be assets. How much do you have, right, that you own, be it cash, be it IRAs, life insurance policies, stocks and bonds, real estate. Like, they want to know your amounts because they're trying to figure out how they can leverage this against the amount of money that you owe. That's your liabilities, accounts payable, notes payable. They're asking for all kinds of things except for, like, they don't ask for student loans here, but installment agreements for your car, mortgages that you have for your rentals, for your real estate, unpaid taxes, any other liabilities, credit cards, all those things, right? So I made that smaller, y'all. Hold on. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Me playing with the wrong screen, right? And then we have sources of income. Your salary. Are you investing? Do you have rental property income? Do you have other income such as royalties, or dividends, or any other income like that, right? Which will fall under net investment income, except for the royalties. Then contingent liabilities. Somebody got a lien on you. What's going on? You co-signing with people, and then the description of these things, right? And then this is what helps to populate it. The notes payable section and banks and others. It tells you what falls into that category. The stocks and bonds, where you start listing them out. Real estate. All of these things, what happens is when you fill out this information below, unpaid taxes, and you explain it. Life insurance policies, and you give them that information. And then you sign it. Certify it, right? And then here, of course, are the instructions associated with how to complete this. This would be a good start to get you on the right track of, okay, let me get these things together. Let me figure out where they are. Now, I can tell you one of the resources I used to use back in the day that would not create a financial statement for me, a report, was Mint. Now, y'all know Intuit got stuff locked down. Mint would help me quickly populate this when I needed to submit it for to help my husband submit his paperwork. Okay, so the hardest part, truly, is knowing where this information is. So I'm going to show you some new tools that exist that are out there. Some of them are paid, some of them are not, right? We'll go through the resources, but I'm gonna do that next week and show you resources that you can use so you can stay current. And in some of them, you can automatically print the financial statement out and get you a good report to work with. But the things you need to be aware of in reality in a personal financial statement, we want to look at what you own, right? What you still have outstanding, because when we get to it, let's go back to the screen real quick. When we get to the bottom line, right here, they're trying to determine what your net worth is. What's your total assets subtracted from your total liabilities are getting us to our net worth. How much skin we gonna have in the game? What are we truly valued at, right? Between assets minus the liabilities, and what are we working with from the start? So that's what we got from a personal financial statement. And if you've never thought about putting that together, now would be a great time. You know, it's warm. You can do it on a weekend. Hey, this week I'm gonna pull my assets. Next week I'm gonna go pull my liabilities, and I'm gonna go get this. We'll make sure that we include a link to this, just as an example. Yeah, we know it's expired, but at least you can get started, and then we'll show you one more time that, you know, it's an interactive. It's Adobe. It's interactive. Clicks here, right? We got this. Y'all watch. Let's say I got $1,000 on hand. Boom. Right? So it's interactive. Minus $500. Let's see what it does. Boom. Right? And when we all finished, it'll kick out total assets minus what's my net worth. Okay? Factoring everything. So I want you to truly be aware of this. I want you to leverage it and let it do what it do. And until next week, we'll holler at you. Peace.